This man does not know how to take the lead, okay? Because we are dealing with a liberal man, all right? Liberal men cannot take the lead. In the end, even the most diehard feminist wants the man to take the lead. You can understand why liberals struggle to date so much, because both liberal men and women are insufferable and are the exact opposite of what each sex desires in the opposite sex. What is up, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, we discuss all things culture and politics, and in today's video, we are going to be taking a look into the world of modern dating, specifically modern dating with liberals. So with the modern dating scene, I feel like every time I touch on this subject, it's only getting worse. But we're here to return to it once again, nonetheless. I didn't even go out looking for dating content. I'm married, but somehow it always just finds its way onto my timelines and my FYPs. So before we get into it, if you guys could please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you feel so inclined. You don't have to, but you should. Be sure to follow my TikTok and other socials in the description down below. And with all of that out of the way, drum roll please. Let's get into it, shall we? First up on the docket.
I went on the weirdest first date. I went through a really messy breakup, and this was my first date back. Unfortunately, I fall under that category of women that dates losers who don't take them out on dates, don't spend money on them, and lives in their apartment rent-free, like a potted plant. So when this guy,
sounds like a liberal,
that I meet off of Bumble tells me he's gonna take me to an art museum, I'm jumping for joy at the bare minimum. I get there early. I park, right? He says, let's meet in front of the museum. Okay, fine. And so I'm walking up the hill, right? I'm walking up the hill. It's like a 10-minute walk, and I'm not breaking a sweat because, I go to the gym. I'm standing there waiting for him. There are people walking by, whatever. And I hear behind me, please, God, please let this not be the man that I'm going to be spending the next couple of hours with. Picture this. He arrives, khaki pants, a blue long-sleeved plaid shirt tucked into the khaki pants, and some, boots. Let me show you what I was.
So far, I'm really not surprised by anything that I'm hearing here, okay? Clearly, we have a man who does not go to the gym, is not in shape, does not take care of himself in any way, shape, or form, whether it's working out and eating right, or just by how he dresses, is not presenting himself well. Is anyone surprised? I know I'm not. I think most women have at least once in their life dated a liberal man, and so far, nothing I'm hearing here is shocking in the least.
The outfit. Business casual versus girl who spends too much time on Pinterest and is 2 pins away from discovering a community that Tumblr in 2013 would have really liked. Yes, it's like the ED Tumblr aesthetic. Sorry, it was kind of a bad joke. Regardless, he also has his keys. There's 7 keys attached to his belt loop, and every time he walks, he sounds like a Walmart cash register, y'all. I'm like, hey, he's like, hi, I had to walk uphill. Brother, take a beat. This is our first impression. Go to the corner, take a sec. He was like, yeah, I'm fine. Also, I didn't RSVP for the free tickets. So he's kind of trying to figure out the ticket situation. I am extremely turned off by this because you've asked me to go on a date. Where are the tickets? Let's be a little proactive here.
Okay, so now we have strike number 2. Actually, I would consider this strike number 3 because off rip, not only is he not taking care of himself physically and all of that, remember she also mentioned that they had to walk up that hill and that they met at the museum. I guess it's not the worst offense in the world, but I think most women appreciate being picked up for a date, or maybe if you're not comfortable with that, because there are weirdos out there, don't get me wrong, maybe have an Uber sent or paid for or something. So in my opinion, we have actually hit strike 3, okay? Doesn't pick her up for the date, is clearly not in shape. And now this man does not know how to take the lead, okay? Because we are dealing with a liberal man, all right? Liberal men cannot take the lead. In the end, even the most diehard feminist wants the man to take the lead, okay? She's already expressed disdain for the fact that he hasn't. Unfortunately, when you date liberal men, you really can't rely on them to lead you to anything or to take charge of anything because they're so passive and submissive. This is what happens when you date liberal men, all right? So they don't take charge, they don't have manners or etiquette, they don't know how to pamper a woman, and they don't even know how to take care of themselves. So ladies, if you're looking to date a liberal, just be prepared that this is probably what you're most likely gonna get.
One exhibit here, so we decided to go to the Broad, which is a bigger art museum. While we're in line trying to get the tickets, his phone kind of stops working and he's not able to get the tickets, and so he just kind of rage quits in the middle. And then I'm doing it. Then I get the tickets, whatever, you know? And then I'm like, all right, let's go. And he kind of looks at me like, where do we go? Lead the way, brother. You are the please. And so I was like, okay, like, let me lead the way then, princess.
What did I tell ya?
Bruh.
What did I tell you? Listen, I don't know how else to put this other than men and women have roles in society, in relationships. It's just the way it is, okay? There's a reason it's been like this for thousands of years, for centuries. Men and women have played into their roles and worked harmoniously together. There's a reason that we do all that. When feminism starts rotting society from the inside out, this is some of the results that you're gonna have to deal with. This is a diehard feminist here, okay? I'm gonna just here's her account. This is her account, okay? If you want to go look into it. She is a mega feminist. But even the most liberal feminist woman still needs a man to lead her and take charge to be attracted to him. And you know what? That's perfectly fine. There's a reason that we do that. That is normal. That is how it should be. But this is why we need to stop deluding ourselves into believing feminism is a good thing for society. I mean, it's not even a good thing for relationships. I don't know why in 2024 we still think like this wave of feminism that we're on is a good thing for society. It's certainly not leading to an increased birth rate. It's certainly not helping to preserve marriages. If anything, it's just increasing divorces. It's just made women more insufferable. Unfortunately, this is what happens when feminism is so prevalent in society, okay? You're not gonna get a normal date. If you wanna be this raging feminist that you are, girlfriend, then you're gonna have to just expect going into dates that you might have to take the lead. You're probably gonna have to open your own doors and pay for your own dates. Because equality. No? Isn't that equality? I guess I'm not really seeing the problem here. For a liberal woman, I don't actually see why any of this would be a problem.
And so, you know, I walk, I'm about to open the door and then I stop. And then he's like, and I'm like, thanks. And then I walk in. Awkward. After this, we go get a matcha. At this point, I was just trying to give it a really fair shot. You know, I came out on this date. It's my first date back. I'm just trying to make the most of it. He talked about all of his exes, which I thought was a way to kind of make things a little bit more platonic, but that is certainly not what was happening. And then he tells me, oh, I've been pro-Palestine since 2021. You're gonna tell a brown woman? I should have said, oh, only 2021?
Not the Palestine comment. Okay, now I'm speaking to the men. Now I'm speaking to the men who are dating liberal women. This is what you have to look forward to, okay? Because I just want you to understand now, nothing will ever be good enough for the liberal woke woman. Nothing. Oh, you weren't pro-Palestine since the minute you were birthed out of your mother's coochie? Not good enough. Not good enough. Sorry. Only discovering that Israel has been bullying Palestine in the last couple of years is not good enough. Okay, you're not woke enough. You're not liberal enough. So sorry, you're out. The point is, just as dating a liberal man sucks for women, dating liberal women also sucks for men. Obviously, for many more reasons than the one I just pointed out. I just don't know how anybody in 2024 is still living in this ecosystem. So not only will it never be good enough for a liberal woman, you're also gonna have to deal with the entitled attitude most of the time. You're also gonna have to deal with unreasonable demands. You're gonna have to accept a high body count. Potentially, that's supposed to just be okay. You're not allowed to have that preference. You're supposed to just accept the fact that you're supposed to still open all the doors, pay for all the dates, do all of that. But the woman, the liberal woman in this equation, she doesn't have to hold up any end of the traditional woman bargain. It's a one-way street. You can understand why liberals struggle to date so much, because both liberal men and women are insufferable and are the exact opposite of what each sex desires in the opposite sex. Because essentially men are cosplaying the role of women, right? And women are cosplaying the role of men. And because that just goes against our natural biology, it's never gonna work. Like, this liberal dating dynamic is not sustainable, and it's very obvious just by this one TikTok here. So let's continue and see how this horrendous date ends.
That he thought that he was bi. And he was like, oh yeah, like, you know, I tried it out on Grindr, but like, I don't think I'm bi because like people on there scared me.
You see what I mean? It's just never going to be good enough. It's never going to be good enough. And as much as this woman would like to delude herself into believing that she would accept a bisexual man, she would never, okay? Because most women don't want to be with men who have sexual relations with other men. Sorry, it's just the way it is. And there actually is nothing wrong with that. There's only a few select women in society that would truly like be okay with dating a bisexual man. I don't think that there should be anything wrong with that. I feel like that should be obvious as to why women wouldn't like that. But in this progressive world, this girl is supposed to just accept the fact that this guy might be bi, and she's just supposed to accept that and tolerate it and be open and receptive to it, which I think is ridiculous. So let's see here. The man is out of shape, okay? He doesn't have proper date manners, can't pick her up, can't pay for the date, whatever. He doesn't know how to dress well or take care of himself. And now, he also, by the way, might be bi and sleep with men. So that's what you have to look forward to when you date a liberal man.
Okay. Also, one of my friends got brought up in conversation who is like a popular content creator, and he started freaking out over the fact that I knew who that was. He literally had to sit down. He was like, I'm so sorry. Honestly, like, I'm just a little bit starstruck right now. Like, he needed a moment. Like, and I was like, dude, oh my God. Like, no. He like started talking about Hassan, and honestly, listen, Hassan is not my type. I can objectively tell you, yes, he's very attractive, but like, if you are a man and you're on a date with a girl that's not feeling you, please don't mention Hassan, because now I'm thinking about Hassan and I'm looking at you. And the date is over. I cut it short because he is like literally like explaining just the plot. He explained the plot to like 4 movies to me, which movie guys, please stay away from me. I'm not renewing my AMC A-list membership for another man. I literally cannot do it. I don't use Letterboxd anymore. I am traumatized. He walks me to my car. I give him one of these, you know, like one armed hug. Then I leave. He texts me 10 minutes after we've parted ways. No, like, oh, it was so nice seeing you, blah, blah, blah. He says, and I quote, P.S. I would have totally gone in for an end-of-date kiss, but IDK if that was the vibe, and I didn't want to give you the ick. Bro, you gave me the ick when you arrived on our date with black specks under each and every nail that you had, and white residue in your sideburn.
And then, of course, the grand finale, because liberal women have bullied men so much and slandered men for so long and so severely on the internet, defamed them, that men, especially liberal men, they are legitimately scared to even touch a woman anymore. They are so terrified that if they try to kiss a girl on a date, even maybe give her a hug or hold her hand, just look at her the wrong way for God's sake, that they're gonna get canceled. They'll get canceled on the internet, or their reputation will be destroyed within their community. These liberal women just spreading lies and gossip about them. And you can't even blame this guy for being hesitant to try and give her a kiss, right? Because, I mean, she's a popular creator on TikTok. She could destroy him if she wanted to. And as we know, women tend to only find affectionate men gross or creepy on a first date if they're ugly. And it sounds by her explanation here that this guy is not taking very good care of himself, from the panting to the way he's dressed to the dirt underneath his nails. So this is a very good look into the liberal world of dating.
I nipped it in the bud. I told him I didn't like him. I'll say this, his only crime, being cringe. Is that, it's not the worst thing that you could be as a guy, but I'm just not looking forward to meeting any other men anytime soon. So, yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Okay, that is a very good look into the world of liberal dating. Oh, but don't worry, there's more. There's more. In all seriousness, I feel like this really does just showcase so well where we're at as a society in 2024 when it comes to dating and relationships and marriage and all of that. I think there is something to be said too about women just being so hyper picky. We all know about the ick, right? The sensation of the ick. And while I think it's actually true and most women experience it, we are at a point now where women feel so entitled and their egos are so overinflated that they truly believe that anytime they get the ick from a man, oh, they should just dump him and then find a new one because there will always be better. That's how women view dating these days. And quite honestly, that's insane. Okay. And birth rates are declining. Marriages are ending. Like, we need to get back on track here as a society. A strong nuclear family unit is the most effective weapon that we have against evil elite powers that are against us. Like, more people need to remember that. And at this rate, we are not even going to be able to affect that weapon because women turn down men and dump men like it's nothing. A guy could hold a beer wrong, okay, and a girl will dump him because it gave her the ick. That is so ridiculous and not a reason to be ending relationships. But that is where we're at right now because of feminism. Women have this very heightened sense of ego that is completely unfounded and, to be honest, destroying America. Like, let's get real here. We cannot continue to progress and thrive as a society without birthing more people and having a strong nuclear family unit. And right now, we don't have any of that. And like I said, as much as women want to deny their natural attraction to strong, masculine men, they clearly have a hard time doing so. I think a lot of women are so disconnected from our biology and our hormone cycles, thanks to feminism, that they don't even realize all of this. The reason women are constantly stereotyped as overly emotional is because we are, okay? It's literally in our biology and our hormonal cycle. Because women don't know anything about how our body and biology works anymore because we're too busy learning in school how to be gay and trans, they are overprescribed on SSRIs and pills, thinking that they have all these mental illnesses that they don't. They're trying to convince themselves that they're not overly emotional and that we're equal to men when we aren't. And then they end up going on these hopeless dates with liberal men just trying to appease these liberal women so that they can sleep with them, white knighting their life away for these women. And you get stuck in this exact cycle of what this woman is going through. At some point, women, you're just going to need to get real. We're just going to have to own up to the fact that we were all psyoped into feminism and that it's really not working out too well for us or for society at large. And just accept the fact that men should be masculine and women should be feminine, okay? It's really not that complicated. And I think the more that we try to overcomplicate this, the worse these outcomes are going to be, whether it's dating or just how we operate in society. Women, you have been lied to, okay? You have been lied to and you have been sold a massive lie by feminism. And I think it would behoove you to, at the very least, allow yourself to slip back into that more feminine role and look for men who are masculine, okay? It's the perfect complement, the perfect pairing. It's been this way since the beginning of time for a reason. And I just don't see why we continue to torture ourselves this way. Well, not me, I guess. Not me and probably you watching this because we're normal and have common sense and aren't totally brainwashed by liberalism. But anyways, let's see what else I have on the docket here.
So I'm in my car right now after a first date, if we can even call it that. I just had to tell this story while it's still fresh and the emotions are still percolating. This guy had messaged me for several weeks on and off sporadically, usually asking if I was free last minute. Finally, he commits to 2 days in advance and says, "How about Tuesday night?" Great. Tuesday night works. He suggests the bar, suggests the time. I say perfect. So we're both running a little late. It's fine. It's LA. There's always traffic. I get to the bar before him and the door is locked. Because of course, it's mid-December. Companies are having private parties. I don't blame him for that. But I tell him I think they're having a private event. The door is locked. There's catered food outside on the patio. Do you know of anywhere else? So he's taking forever to park, which, again, LA, it happens. Finally, he walks up, not looking totally unkempt, but the vest he's wearing, I find out he's doing house renovations. Clearly, he is painting in that vest. So he tells me, I'm kind of new to this neighborhood. I don't really know what else is around. I had already looked in my phone while I was waiting for him. I say, I only see one bar within walking distance. Let's give it a try. Now, granted, I have had a very long day. No, a very long month, a very long quarter at work. I am so decision fatigued and tired of running the lives of grown-ass adults. But still, here I am, leading the way in this man's neighborhood. And so...
Oh, wow. So another liberal woman on a date with a liberal who is unkempt and can't take the lead. Are we noticing a pattern here? I am.
We get to the alternate bar. It's a little hole-in-the-wall place. I'm thinking maybe it'll be a little loud in there, not the easiest for us to have a conversation. But it's not anything super sketchy or out of the ordinary for a dive bar. But clearly, he's uncomfortable being there. I ask, do you want to get a drink? And he just kind of stands around and looks like, do I? But then I'm looking at the clientele, and I have no way to verify this. But I have a sneaking suspicion he's uncomfortable because most of the patrons are not white. And I'm like, okay, dude, I don't care if you want to stay or want to go, but for the love of God, just make a choice.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you, men? It's never going to be enough for a liberal woman, okay? They will dissect your every move, okay? They are hyper analyzing you for racism, homophobia, what else? Transphobia. These women are looking for any just tiny little thing that they can to twist into something that it's not so that they can feel morally superior to you. And I don't know, whatever they get out of that, they're getting out of it. You'll never be good enough for a liberal woman just based on those aspects alone, but just wait until you get into like actual relationship dynamics. The smallest little things. Oh, you didn't do the dishes? Misogynist. Oh, you didn't do the dishes, fold the laundry, mow the grass, go to work for 8 hours, and tell me I'm beautiful 10 times a day? Misogynist. So just know, if you date a liberal woman, that's what you have to look forward to.
Oh, we could maybe get a bottle of wine, go back to my place in my courtyard. And I'm like, how far is it? Clearly it's far enough that you had to drive here. So we start walking back. He had already told me about the shitty stuff he had to deal with today. He starts asking me about mine. And I'm just like, I gotta be honest, man. This shit is not helping. So we start walking back to the original bar where we met because they do have a little food stand where you can buy some beers and wine. And I say, okay, do you want to just grab a glass of wine or a beer here? And he's like, yeah, sure, we could do that. But, can I Zelle you? He's like, yeah, I was actually running late because I forgot my wallet. Can I Zelle you for the cost of a bottle of wine? And as a disaster of a human being who loses shit all the time, if that had happened to me, which it very well could, the first thing I would have said when I rolled up late would be, I'm so sorry. I could not find my wallet anywhere. I was looking for it, but I didn't want to keep you waiting any longer. But no, he doesn't mention it then, doesn't mention it at any point in the 15 minutes we spend walking around the block. And honestly, again, I get it. Shit happens. But what gets me, what really gets me, is that there's no hint of accountability whatsoever. Not
just everything about these liberal dating stories sounds so miserable to me on both ends. The reason these men are just utter disasters on dates these days, these liberal men, is because you women will just let these men sleep with you. You'll let them sleep with you if they pay you one compliment. These men, they're not trying for longevity here. Okay, is that not obvious? Bruh. They're just trying to sleep with you. Half of you liberal women won't let them. So can you even blame the men? Can you? Women are the gatekeepers of sex. And until modern women start closing the gates a little bit more, this is the treatment that you're going to receive from men. What most women are teaching men to do these days. Just tell me all of the liberal things that I want to hear and you can sleep with me. It's a learned behavior, ladies. So until y'all figure it out, close up those legs and expect higher standards, this is what you're gonna get. I hate to say it, but it's just the truth. So I don't understand why women are still so shocked at the behavior that these men exhibit on these dates. It's your own fault, okay? And if you want to change that, ladies, you need to start acting better too and raise your standards for yourself, for God's sake. I'm getting so heated that my eye is twitching. I just can't get over this weird dichotomy of these liberal men and liberal women on these dates where it's like the women have these kind of ridiculously high expectations, but are also just insufferable. You know, it's like, why would a guy even want to reach your expectations knowing that the end result is going to be the most insufferable woman on the planet?
Utterance of, I'm sorry, I f***ed up. That's what I find inexcusable. That and the potential racism. So I literally just look at him dumbfounded, like, seriously, bro? No, I don't want to zell you at this point. And he's like, oh yeah, let's just call it. And as I turn to walk to my car, he's like, oh, it was nice to meet you. And I'm like, let's be real here. Let's not pretend that this was cool. He just crosses the street, mumbling something to himself. Again, no apologies. And real talk, nothing about it shocks me. None of it. In the realm of dating horror stories, this wasn't all that bad. But it's just how pervasive and continuous it is. This man is 40 years old. And then people wonder why there's a male loneliness epidemic and shame women for choosing to be single.
What did this guy do that was really all that bad? I mean, it's just typical liberal behavior, right? It's not, I mean, that's what you wanted, right? That's what women want, right? You want a liberal man. Okay, well, he's going to be gross and dirty. He's going to be late. He's going to be broke. And he's not going to know how to take charge or lead you to anything. Here's the tea. If you want the man that all of you clearly do, okay, you want a strong man who can lead you, who can afford to pay for dinner, who is well-dressed and well put together. Guess what? Newsflash, he's gonna be conservative. This day and age, marriage is a conservative thing. I mean, it's kind of crazy. I mean, it sounds crazy, but that's kind of the truth. I don't know that many people who are my age that are married that are liberal. You know, there's some relationships where the woman might be liberal and the man might be conservative. A lot of these women that you're going to see are, I would say, like older. They're probably like in their 30s. And it's because, like I keep saying, feminism has sold them this lie that you can be a feminist and a liberal woman and you can lead your relationship. They're ultra picky with their inflated egos, and they think that they don't have to play into their feminine role, but still expect the man to play into his masculine role. I mean, that's just unfair. Why would an ultra masculine man want to be with a masculine woman? Bruh. Like, that doesn't even make sense.
A sane person would choose to endure this? You want to complain how women are too emotional? Y'all are lucky I'm emotional. If I was thinking more logically, I'd have written you off a long time ago. And many women have. And you know what? More power to him. Because I don't begrudge any woman who doesn't want to spend her Tuesday night doing this.
It's really not that hard in all reality to go on a good date with a nice guy. It really isn't. It's just, he's probably not going to be liberal. So ladies, if you want to go on a date with a guy who is going to pay for the dinner, who's going to hold the door open for you, who will pick you up or send you an Uber to bring you to the restaurant, who will arrive on time looking presentable and who might even kiss you at the end, he's going to be a conservative. Shocker! He's gonna be a conservative. So if you could just get over the fact that your potential partner might not want you to unalive your unborn child because it's inconvenient to you, or he might not want you to prioritize your career over him and your future family, you could go on a nice date probably any day of the week. I will just never understand why women fight so hard to have a harder life. The traditional way of life is generally much easier for women, okay? I'll give the disclaimer because you have to give the disclaimer, okay? Of course, not all women are meant to be in a traditional marriage, okay? Yeah. But for the most part, most women are meant to be in a traditional marriage and would thrive. Yes, you hear the horror stories of some of these traditional marriages where there's financial abuse and the man sucks and is mean and whatever, of course. But at the end of the day, that is on you to pick a good partner. I'm sorry. Of course, there are exceptions to the rule, but generally speaking, this is the superior way of life. Next.
Do you want to know one of the saddest realizations I recently had? Was that as a liberal woman, it is really hard to find a man who is willing to play the more traditional masculine role in the relationship in today's day and age, who is not a conservative. A man who wants to pay on the first date, who wants to open your door, who has that want and desire to take care of you and to provide, who is not a conservative. And obviously, as a liberal woman, I do want to be respected for my independence. And I do want to have my own autonomy in the relationship and not be confined or conform to the traditional female homemaker, childbearing role. And most of the men that I've dated who do have that more natural provider masculinity about them are normally conservative. So I don't really know what to do because I don't want to compromise my morals and values just to find a man. But am I asking to have my cake and eat it too?
Well, good luck. Okay, because we can't all have it all. All right, you can't have it all. Y'all, liberal women, are simply asking too much from men. You expect these men to lean into their masculinity, to be a provider, to defend you against danger, to be just masculine in his aura. But then you also want to be able to just sleep around all your 20s and have him accept that. You want to be able to just unalive your unborn children whenever it's convenient for you. You want to dedicate half your life to a career that does not give a shit about you. You want everything, but you don't get to have everything. Nobody does. Life is unfair. Life's a bitch and then you die, okay? That's just the way it is. So you need to pick your battles in life, okay? I don't know when the switch flipped where women just decided that they are entitled to everything and that they should be able to do literally whatever they want and suffer no consequences, but that's not reality. Like I said, 50 times in this video? If you want that type of man, that strong masculine leader, then you're gonna have to date a conservative. God forbid you're gonna have to date a conservative. I mean, really? Like, what are you so pressed about? What, that you might not be able to tell your children that it's okay to be a boy when you're a girl? Like, what is so terrible about dating a conservative? That's what I want to know. And if I have to hear the narrative that abortions have anything to do with bodily autonomy one more time, I'm gonna lose it. Who has any autonomy here? Does the infant inside of the womb have any autonomy? No. Tough pill to swallow, but that's the truth. Once you have a child in your womb, you don't have autonomy anymore. Okay, I know that's a hard pill for women to swallow, but it's also the consequences of your actions. And just because you don't feel like being a mother does not mean that you get to take the life of an innocent child because it's inconvenient for you. It's just absurd in the last few years how normalized and accepted they want abortion to be. Like that, no, it's not a normal thing. It's not an okay thing to have an abortion. And if you do have one, just understand what you're doing and that it is an atrocious act to commit, period. Like, you're taking a life, point blank, period. There's no way around it. What I hate most about all of this is that these modern women prove these stupid red pill manosphere bros right. Why do you have to do that? But you can understand why this red pill manosphere content exists. Unfortunately, they are proving these ideologies right. And that is why these podcasts are so successful, because there's enough women to fill them. There's enough content for them to react to that proves their point. Modern women have become insufferable. They believe that they are much more attractive than they are. They think they have a much higher value in and to society than they do. And most of them truly believe they are very special snowflakes that are irreplaceable. These liberal feminists really believe that once they enter a man's life, that the man could never go on without them. That's just not the reality. Honestly, part of me really feels bad for these women. And these evil, like, feminist operatives, these elites and powers that be, the deep state, the globalists, whatever you want to call it, the communists, the enemy, this is exactly what they want. Unfortunately, they're winning. In my opinion, attacking women and children is definitely working because both of these groups are extremely vulnerable and easily manipulated. And we see these tactics and these ploys working every single day. But at some point, women are just going to have to own up to the fact that they're wrong. But we all know women have a very hard time doing that. Next offender.
Hey guys, people keep asking me, like, how did I actually find out, about him voting for Trump? How did I actually come to finding out? I think I just keep forgetting to mention it because it was just that unremarkable. But like I said in my story before, I was really upset because he told me his family voted for Trump. So I asked for a few days of space to think about, do I even want to be in a relationship with someone whose family is like that? Because I've cut my own family off for that shit. I'm not going to be associated with that. I'm not. And so I needed some time to think about it because he really was good to me and I liked him a lot.
Shocking. She dated a conservative guy and he actually treated her well. But let's throw it all out the window because he's a conservative and voted for Trump. The hysteria. Hurrah! The drama.
And then after a couple days of thinking about it, I reached out to him saying, you know, what time do you want to get together to talk about it? And at this point, he said, I'm so confused. I'm so sad. I'm so scared. I don't know. I haven't known what to say because I voted for Trump too over the weekend with my family. And he just spilled it, just word vomited because he was just getting so nervous about it. He couldn't keep it in anymore. So that's how I found out. And then I kid you not, it was a 2-minute breakup. I said word for word after he sent me that, oh boy, yeah, that about does it. And then continued to tell him how disappointed I was in him. Yeah, and then I unadded him off of everything. And that's how it went. So yeah, easiest, quickest breakup of my life.
So here's the thing. What is so tragic about all of this is in 10 years, this young woman is going to wake up and realize that she made the biggest mistake of her life. Because by age 35, if you are still prescribed to feminist ideology, you're hopeless. But I think that a lot of women by age 35-ish realize that feminism sold them a lie and that they're likely going to be alone now for the rest of their lives, or they're going to have to accept much less and lower their standards if they do want a partner. So just because this guy voted for Trump, this girl was willing to throw that entire relationship away. She even said that he treated her really well, because he's a conservative, and she just threw it all away. She was going to throw it away just because his family voted for Trump. The hysteria is out of control. I do believe that you should be united on your political beliefs because your political ideology really does represent, at this point at least in society, it really does represent a lot of your standards and your morals and convictions in society. And I think, especially if you're going to be raising children, you really do need to be aligned on that front. I suspect had she given him the time of day, she would have come around to his beliefs and they could have had a very happy life together. But instead, she will become another bitter, alone feminist who is screaming on the internet about how men are terrible. She's going to be like that other video we watched where she went on the date with the guy who asked to zell her. She's going to end up just like that woman because that is where feminism and liberalism and wokeness leads you. It leads you alone. It leads you with nobody, okay? Because it expects you to alienate your family, your friends, your boyfriends, your husbands. It expects you to alienate everything for the cause of liberalism. Because if these people in your life don't believe exactly what you do, then they are not to be trusted and you must shun them out of your life. Well, you're not going to have very many people left in your life if that's the way you choose to go, because liberalism at this present point in time is not rooted in reality, all right? And most people with common sense don't want anything to do with it. And as we can see with Trump winning the last election, it's becoming less and less popular and accepted in society by the day. So unfortunately, you're going to be living a very lonely life if you don't wake up out of the delusion of wokeness quite soon. First off, how did you guys not know each other's political ideologies getting into this relationship? How did you not know that, first off? But second off, I literally can't imagine throwing away a relationship over who my partner voted for if you were that nonchalant about it going into the relationship. And what's worse about all of this is I don't believe that this girl is convicted in any of the things that she believes in. I really don't. I truly believe in 10 to 15 years, she won't believe in any of the crap that she thinks she believes in now. She's clearly young. Most of this woke crap is so nonsensical that you grow out of it. So I do find it pretty tragic that so many young relationships are just getting tossed to the wayside because of political beliefs. That's insane. Moving on.
I accidentally went on a date with a Trump supporter on Saturday, and normally I would say it's unethical to pleasure a Republican, but it got me thinking that we should really be going on more dates with Republicans to waste their money, and because they seem really lonely.
Do you see how evil this ideology is? It's just evil because I would say that most people on the right would never seek to destroy anyone on the left's life. Now, you might see some crazy things on the internet, but that's the internet. But in real life, You will never see a conservative doing that because we don't have to. We are mature enough people, okay, rooted in reality that we can just walk away. But women, specifically liberal feminist women, are so vindictive, okay, that they will do crap like that. The way men are treated in our society at this point and at this stage is just so unbelievable. I mean, I'm sorry, but imagine looking like that, okay, like that girl, and thinking that you are any kind of hot shit. Like, let's just be real here. You're not the prize, sweetheart. And I'm not saying that in order to be a prize, you have to be attractive, but it's certainly a large factor. And I just think it's insane the lengths that women are willing to go to just not be treated right. A guy could literally be the perfect guy, treat you exactly how you want to be treated, be attractive, be a good provider. He could be everything, right? Everything that you want and more. But oh, God forbid he's a Republican. God forbid he voted for Donald Trump. Throw it all out the window. Throw the life and relationship of your dreams all away because God forbid he's a decent person. Next.
Hi. Sorry I haven't been posting. I honestly just needed to take a break from social media. But I talked a lot about what I was not looking for in a guy. So just want to know, does this person exist? Is it possible to find a guy who is funny, attractive, liberal, cares about the environment, is a cowboy, is Glenn Powell? Okay, he doesn't have to be Glenn Powell, but is it possible to find like a country guy who can is handy, but is also liberal? Is that a thing?
No. Not really. I don't know about you guys, but my parents were never married to each other, but they are married to other people. And both of my parents, both sets of parents, one is Republican and one is Democrat. And yeah, they might bicker about politics, but aside from that, they've had very long, good marriages. I feel like this woman is proving exactly what I was just saying. Like, my God, you could literally have the man of your dreams, right? Like, literally say, he's all of those things that she wanted. A cowboy, Glenn Powell, handy. He's all of that. He's funny, but he voted for Trump. Oh, the horror. I mean, you're willing to throw away a relationship with a guy who is everything that you want just because he's a Republican? Am I the only person who just finds that kind of insane? Bruh. Ladies, I think you need to bring your ego down about 5 notches. You need to stop being so picky. You need to grow up and throw liberalism and feminism out the window because it's doing you no favors. You're just gonna have to accept, if you want to be treated like a woman by a masculine man, then you're just gonna have to date a conservative. And that is really the moral of the story. So that is all I have for you guys today. I could go on. I do have more videos, but I can only listen to liberal women talking so much before I just start tuning it out. You know what I mean? So before you guys go, if you could please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this, and I will see you guys in another video soon. And remember, God bless you and God bless the USA. Bye.